Have you ever felt stuck, wondering how some people seem to effortlessly connect with others, overcome challenges, and achieve their goals while you struggle? Maybe you've read countless books or watched videos, searching for that one key piece of advice that will unlock your potential. The truth is, the secrets to a more fulfilling and successful life aren't hidden. They were laid out decades ago by a man who rose from humble beginnings to impact millions, Dale Carnegie. He wasn't just a theorist. He lived the principles he taught, understanding deeply the human desire to improve, to connect, and to thrive. In this video, we're diving deep into 10 timeless lessons inspired by Dale Carnegie's powerful philosophy. These aren't just abstract ideas, they are practical, actionable principles that can transform the way you think, interact, and pursue your ambitions. We'll explore how to tap into your true drive, build unbreakable relationships, turn setbacks into strengths, and much more. Stick with us until the end, because mastering these lessons is crucial for anyone serious about personal growth and lasting success. So, if you're ready to unlock a more confident, capable, and influential version of yourself, make sure you're comfortable and ready to take notes. And while you're at it, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring more valuable content like this to you. Let's get started on this transformative journey with Dale Carnegie. Be ambitious and don't be afraid to take risks. Ambition, in its purest and most constructive form, is not synonymous with greed or an excessive desire for power at the expense of others. Rather, it is a powerful and necessary inner drive that moves us to constantly seek a better version of ourselves, to aspire to meaningful achievements, and to not settle for a dull and lackluster existence. Dale Carnegie understood deeply that complacency is one of the greatest enemies of personal progress, and that mediocrity is not a natural state of being, but a condition to which many resign themselves due to a lack of vision or fear of the unknown. Escaping the trap of mediocrity requires a conscious decision and a continuous effort to raise our sights, to set goals that challenge us and force us to stretch beyond our current comfort zone. Aiming high in life does not mean that every attempt will result in immediate and resounding success, but it does guarantee that our potential will be tested and that our growth will be constant. Those who cling desperately to security, who avoid any situation that involves even the slightest risk, often find that this very security limits them to a narrow circle of possibilities. Life, with its ups and downs and unexpected twists and turns, requires courage. It requires a willingness to take a step into the unknown, to try something new even when the possibility of failure is real. Carnegie saw life in a way as a game, not in a frivolous sense, but as a series of challenges and opportunities where strategy, resilience, and the ability to learn from every move are essential. Not taking defeat personally, understanding that a setback does not define our value as individuals, is crucial to maintaining perspective and motivation. What truly matters is the honest dedication and tireless effort we invest in pursuing our greatest goals. Ambition, when linked to a noble purpose and a commitment to hard ethical work, becomes the engine that drives innovation, progress, and personal fulfillment. It is the burning desire to make a difference, to leave a positive mark on the world that pushes us to overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles. It is not just about achieving material goals, although these may be part of the vision, but about developing our character, expanding our capabilities, and contributing meaningfully to society. The ambitious person does not wait for things to happen. They make them happen. They actively seek opportunities, learn from every experience, and adapt to change with a proactive mindset. The fear of failure is natural, but it should not be an anchor that holds us back. Carnegie, through his own overcoming of poverty and adversity, exemplified that with clear ambition and a willingness to take calculated risks, it is possible to transcend the limitations imposed by circumstances. True security does not lie in avoiding danger, but in developing the inner strength and skills necessary to face the challenges that life inevitably presents. Therefore, let us embrace ambition as a positive force, cultivate the courage to take risks, and devote our efforts to the pursuit of those great goals that give meaning and direction to our existence. Love what you do to find true dedication. The idea of loving one's work is often presented as an unattainable luxury, reserved only for a lucky few who manage to monetize their deepest passions. However, Dale Carnegie argued that finding a positive, emotional connection to one's daily work is not merely an ideal, but a fundamental necessity for sustaining high performance and experiencing deep professional satisfaction. When work is perceived as a burden, as a series of tedious tasks that must simply be completed in order to receive a paycheck, intrinsic motivation declines dramatically. Dedication becomes superficial, driven by external obligation rather than genuine internal commitment. In contrast, when we manage to align our work activities with our interests, values, and talents, work ceases to be a mere occupation and becomes a natural extension of who we are and what we care about. The hours fly by, challenges become exciting opportunities to learn and grow, and the energy invested feels less like a sacrifice and more like an investment in our own fulfillment. Choosing a career or professional path that resonates with our deepest interests is therefore one of the most strategic decisions we can make for our long-term happiness and success. This does not mean that the path is always easy or that every day is filled with unbridled joy. There will be challenges, frustrations, and moments of doubt. However, when we love the essence of what we do, our ability to persevere through difficulties is greatly strengthened. Passion acts as an anchor that keeps us steady when the waters get rough. Carnegie did not suggest that we should all quit our current jobs in search of an elusive passion. Sometimes, love for what we do is cultivated over time as we develop skills, experience achievements, and find a sense of purpose in our contribution. It is also possible to find aspects within our current work that we are passionate about and focus on them, seeking ways to expand those areas and minimizing those we dislike. The satisfaction that comes from doing work we love goes far beyond financial compensation. While pay is necessary and rewarding, it becomes an added benefit to the intrinsic joy we feel from creating, solving problems, interacting with colleagues and customers in meaningful ways, and knowing that we are using our skills and talents in a way that is fulfilling to us. When we love what we do, excellence becomes a natural byproduct of our dedication. We strive to improve not because we have to, but because we want to. Constructive feedback is received less defensively and with greater openness to learning. We are more willing to invest additional time and effort to perfect our craft. Ultimately, finding or cultivating a love for our work is an investment in our own quality of life. We spend a significant portion of our lives working, and the quality of that experience profoundly impacts our overall well-being. By actively seeking alignment between what we do and what we love, we not only increase our chances of professional success, but we also enrich our lives in ways that money alone cannot achieve. So let's reflect on what aspects of our current work energize us, what activities absorb us completely, and what kind of contribution we find most rewarding. And from there, let's actively seek ways to integrate more of that into our daily lives, thereby cultivating a genuine love for our work that drives true and lasting dedication. Cultivate unwavering enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is a contagious force, a vibrant energy that not only propels the person who possesses it, but also illuminates and energizes those around them. In the context of work and life, cultivating unwavering enthusiasm is not simply a matter of temperament or personality. It is a skill that can be developed and harnessed to achieve higher levels of performance and satisfaction. Dale Carnegie understood that enthusiasm is a powerful engine for action. When we approach our tasks and projects with a spark of excitement and a positive attitude, the difficulty of challenges diminishes and the likelihood of finding creative solutions increases. Enthusiasm helps us overcome laziness, stay focused, despite distractions, and inspire others to join our vision. Waking up each morning with an optimistic disposition and maintaining that spirit throughout the day can seem like a daunting task, especially when we face stressful or monotonous situations. However, Carnegie suggested that attitude is a choice. While it is ideal to feel an innate passion for everything we do, there are times when we must simply choose to be enthusiastic. Acting with enthusiasm, even if we don't feel it completely, at first, can trigger a genuine shift in our emotional state. The feedback between behavior and feeling is powerful. Faking a smile can actually improve our mood. Similarly, behaving with energy and optimism can generate real feelings of enthusiasm. Over time, the philosophy of do what you love and love what you do is particularly relevant here. When we love our work, enthusiasm comes more naturally. But even in tasks that we are not immediately passionate about, we can find aspects that are worthwhile. Focus on the value they bring or the opportunity to learn and grow that they represent. Approaching these tasks with an open and willing attitude, seeking to find interest in them, can transform an obligation into an opportunity. Enthusiasm also plays a crucial role in interacting with others. An enthusiastic person is generally more attractive, more persuasive, and better able to motivate a team. Their positive energy radiates, creating a more dynamic and productive work environment. In sales, in leadership, in any situation that requires influencing others, enthusiasm is an invaluable tool. It helps us communicate our conviction and inspire confidence in our vision. Of course, maintaining a high level of enthusiasm all the time is unrealistic. There will be days when we feel exhausted or discouraged. The key is not to suppress those feelings, but to acknowledge them and then apply strategies to rekindle our inner spark. Remembering the purpose behind our work, celebrating small achievements, surrounding ourselves with positive people, and taking care of our physical and mental health are all ways to nurture our enthusiasm. In short, enthusiasm is not a fixed personality trait, but a dynamic force that we can actively cultivate. By choosing to approach our tasks and interactions with an energetic and positive attitude, we not only improve our own experience, but also become a source of inspiration and motivation for those around us. Enthusiasm is the fuel that drives the engine of progress and fulfillment. Mistakes are stepping stones. Learn constantly. In a society that often glorifies instant and seamless success, the idea of making mistakes can generate deep aversion. However, Dale Carnegie and many other thinkers throughout history understood that failure is not the opposite of success, but an integral part of the path to it. Viewing mistakes as stepping stones rather than insurmountable barriers is a fundamental shift in perspective that can transform our relationship with setbacks and unlock immense learning potential. We all, without exception, make mistakes. We are human beings, inherently imperfect and constantly evolving. Trying to avoid any possibility of failure is ultimately trying to avoid living fully and taking the risks necessary for growth. The real distinction between those who achieve their goals and those who do not lies not in whether they make mistakes, but in how they respond to them. The key is not the absence of failure, but the ability to bounce back quickly, analyze what happened objectively, and extract valuable lessons that better equip us for future challenges. Every setback, every unexpected outcome contains crucial information if we are willing to look for it. What went wrong? What could we have done differently? What did we learn about ourselves, about the situation, or about the people involved? Asking these questions without destructive self-criticism allows us to transform a negative experience into an invaluable learning opportunity. Failure can be a powerful springboard to success, but only if we maintain an open mind and a learning attitude. Those who wallow in self-pity, blaming others or circumstances for their mistakes, deprive themselves of the opportunity to grow. Stress and frustration are common responses to mistakes, but they are unproductive in the long run. It is more useful to channel that energy into constructive analysis and planning corrective actions. Learning from mistakes is not just about correcting technical or strategic flaws. It is also about developing emotional resilience, strengthening our resolve, and building a deeper understanding of our own strengths and weaknesses. Every time we recover from a setback, we become stronger and better equipped to face future challenges. Carnegie, through his own journey, which included ups and downs before achieving massive success, exemplified the importance of perseverance and the ability to learn from every experience, both successes and failures. He understood that no one becomes a champion overnight. The road to mastery is paved with failed attempts, adjustments, and an unwavering determination to keep going despite difficulties. The ability to withstand life's blows, to get up after every fall, and to respond with a positive, learning-oriented attitude is what ultimately determines who will succeed in the long run. Therefore, instead of fearing mistakes, let's embrace them as an inevitable and valuable part of the growth process. Let's turn every failure into a lesson learned, an opportunity to refine our approach, and one step closer to achieving our goals. The true measure of our success is not the absence of mistakes, but our ability to learn from them and keep moving forward with wisdom and determination. Face your fears and act despite them. Fear is a powerful primal emotion that has served humanity as a survival mechanism throughout history. However, in the modern world, it often manifests in ways that prevent us from growing, innovating, and reaching our full potential. Dale Carnegie recognized that fear, particularly the fear of failure, rejection, or the unknown, is one of the most significant barriers to action and achievement. This fear does not always present itself as paralyzing terror. Sometimes it is a subtle inner voice that whispers doubts, presents us with worst-case scenarios, and convinces us that it is safer not to try at all. These concerns, which in most cases are exaggerations of reality or ghosts that never materialize, can prevent us from taking the first step toward achieving our dreams. The tendency to overanalyze, imagine every possible difficulty, and visualize negative outcomes can completely immobilize us. Carnegie did not advocate recklessness or blind risk-taking. On the contrary, he emphasized the importance of careful planning. However, once due diligence has been done and a plan has been drawn up, the next crucial stage is action, despite the persistence of a certain level of fear. Planning reduces uncertainty, but it does not completely eliminate the possibility that things will not go as planned. And it is at that moment, when fear inevitably rears its head, that we must draw on our determination and act despite it. If, as a result of our action, something does not go as we hoped, we return to the beginning learned in the previous lesson. We learn from the mistake, adjust our approach, and try again. Resilience, the ability to recover from setbacks, is intrinsically linked to the courage to act despite fear. Confronting our fears does not mean that they disappear completely. It means acknowledging their presence and deciding not to let them dictate our actions. It is an act of will, a commitment to our growth and to the pursuit of our goals, even when we feel apprehensive. Carnegie suggested that much of the fear we experience is an illusion of the mind, built on negative assumptions and catastrophic projections. By questioning the validity of these fears, by focusing on facts rather than emotions, we can diminish their power over us. Sometimes, the simple act of taking a small step, of facing a part of the fear, proves that reality is not as frightening as the imagination had painted it. Every time we act despite our fears, our comfort zone expands slightly. We gain confidence in our ability to handle difficult situations and become bolder in seeking new challenges. Inaction, on the other hand, perpetuates fear and strengthens it. The more we avoid what we fear, the more formidable it seems. Overcoming fear is an ongoing process, not a one-time event. There will be times when we feel fear when facing new situations, but with practice, we will develop the ability to recognize it, manage it, and act despite it. Carnegie, through his public speaking courses, helped countless people overcome their fear of exposure and express themselves with confidence, proving that even the most deeply rooted fears can be conquered with the right technique and practice. In conclusion, fear is a natural part of the human experience, but it does not have to be an insurmountable obstacle. By acknowledging its presence, carefully planning our actions, and, most importantly, acting despite it, we can expand our horizons, achieve our goals, and live a fuller life, free from the limitations imposed by apprehension. Courage is not the absence of fear, but action despite it. Prioritization is key. Master your time. In a world flooded with distractions and constant demands, the ability to effectively manage our time has become an essential skill for success and well-being. Dale Carnegie understood that productivity is not simply about being busy, but about focusing on the activities that have the greatest impact and bring us closer to our most important goals. Prioritization is therefore a fundamental discipline that allows us to take control of our schedules, rather than being controlled by them. A key principle of effective time management is to tackle the most important and challenging tasks at the beginning of the day. This approach, often referred to as eat the frog, if your job is to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning, capitalizes on the fact that most people have their highest energy and concentration levels during the early hours of the day. Leaving difficult tasks for later often results in procrastination and them being done with less energy and attention. By completing the crucial tasks first, we not only ensure that they get done, but we also generate positive momentum and a sense of accomplishment that can propel us through the rest of the day. Less important or simpler tasks can be handled when our energy levels are lower, as they require less cognitive and emotional effort. However, prioritization goes beyond simply dividing tasks into difficult and easy. It involves careful discernment to identify which activities have the greatest potential to move us toward our long-term goals, which tasks, if completed, will have the most significant impact on our project, our career, or our personal life. Identifying these high-leverage activities requires a clear understanding of our goals and an honest assessment of how we invest our time. Creating a schedule or prioritized to-do list is a useful tool, but its effectiveness depends on our discipline to stick to it. It's easy to get sidetracked by interruptions, incoming emails, or last-minute requests. Effective time management requires the ability to say no to distractions and protect our time dedicated to high-priority tasks. Dale Carnegie emphasized the importance of total commitment to our projects. This means not only dedicating time to them, but also approaching them with a mindset of excellence. Don't settle for good enough work, but strive for the highest quality possible within our capabilities. This pursuit of excellence becomes more manageable when we have prioritized our tasks and can devote our energy and attention to what really matters. Time management is not just about efficiency, it's also about effectiveness. We can be very efficient at completing low-priority tasks, but if those tasks don't bring us closer to our goals, we're just busy, not productive. Prioritization ensures that we're focusing our energy on the activities that will yield the most meaningful results. In moments when we're facing an overwhelming workload or feeling discouraged by the number of tasks on our to-do list, prioritization becomes even more crucial. Breaking large projects into smaller, more manageable steps, and then prioritizing those steps can make a daunting task seem less overwhelming. When the going gets tough and discouragement threatens, Carnegie's response is simple and powerful: take action and make things happen. This action, however, must be purposeful action, informed by a clear prioritization of what is most important at that moment. Mastering our time through prioritization frees us from the chaos of constant reactivity and allows us to operate with a sense of purpose and control. It is a skill that develops with practice, but whose benefits in terms of productivity, stress reduction, and goal achievement are immense. By making prioritization an integral part of our daily routine, we systematically move closer to realizing our potential. Build strong relationships by showing genuine interest in others. In the tapestry of life, our interactions with others form the most important threads. The quality of our personal and professional relationships profoundly impacts our happiness, success, and sense of belonging. Dale Carnegie, through his most famous work, How to Win Friends and Influence People, emphasized that the fundamental skill for building strong, lasting relationships lies in a surprisingly simple but often overlooked principle: showing genuine interest in others. We live in a world that often encourages self-centeredness, where attention tends to be focused on ourselves, our own needs, problems, and achievements. However, Carnegie argued that the key to connecting with others in a meaningful way is to shift the focus from me to you. When we show sincere interest in someone else's life, in their thoughts, feelings, experiences, and aspirations, we are communicating that we value their existence and that we consider their perspective important. This genuine interest goes far beyond superficial politeness or asking questions for the sake of it. It involves actively listening with the intention of understanding, not just responding. It means remembering details about their lives, their families, their hobbies, and following up in future conversations. It means asking thoughtful questions that invite the other person to talk about themselves, because, as Carnegie pointed out, most people enjoy talking about what is most familiar and dear to them themselves. When people feel that we genuinely care about them, it creates a space of trust and openness. They feel more comfortable sharing their thoughts and feelings, which strengthens the bond between us. This authentic connection is the foundation of any strong relationship, whether it's a friendship, a family relationship, or a professional partnership. In the professional realm, showing genuine interest in colleagues, clients, or superiors not only improves the work environment, but can also have tangible benefits in terms of collaboration, problem-solving, and growth opportunities. People are more willing to help those who they know care about them. A leader who shows genuine interest in the well-being and development of their team not only inspires loyalty, but also fosters greater commitment and productivity. Customers who feel that a salesperson or supplier is genuinely interested in their needs and challenges, rather than simply trying to sell something, are more likely to trust and establish a long-term business relationship. Cultivating the ability to show genuine interest takes practice and conscious intention. It involves setting aside our own distractions and concerns for a moment and focusing completely on the other person. It involves listening with empathy, trying to understand their perspective and emotions. It involves asking follow-up questions that deepen the conversation and show that we are paying attention. Carnegie reminded us that the sweetest sound to anyone is the sound of their own name. Remembering and using someone's name is a simple but powerful way to show that we value them as an individual and that we have taken the time to acknowledge them. It is a small gesture that can have a big impact on how we are perceived. In an increasingly digital and often impersonal world, the ability to make authentic human connections is more valuable than ever. By practicing the principle of showing genuine interest in others, we not only enrich our own lives with more meaningful relationships, but we also become more influential and respected individuals in all areas of our lives. It is an investment in social capital that pays immeasurable dividends, so we've journeyed through 10 powerful lessons, inspired by the enduring wisdom of Dale Carnegie. From cultivating ambition and finding joy in your work, to building genuine connections and facing down your fears, these principles offer a roadmap for navigating life's complexities with greater confidence and effectiveness. Carnegie didn't just write about these ideas. He lived them, proving that these aren't just nice concepts but practical tools that can fundamentally change your experience of the world and your place within it. Remember, the true power of these lessons lies not just in understanding them, but in applying them consistently in your daily life. Choose 1 or 2 principles that resonated most deeply with you today and commit to practicing them this week. See what happens when you genuinely show interest in others, when you choose enthusiasm, or when you face a fear head-on with action. The transformation begins the moment you decide to put these timeless ideas into practice. If you found value in these insights and feel inspired to apply them, please give this video a thumbs up. It truly helps us reach more people seeking positive change. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future guides to personal and professional growth. And I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 10 lessons struck a chord with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. And here's to building your best life one principle at a time.